Hello, good evening. This is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant, welcoming you to another episode of Write It Out Wednesday. It is Wednesday, July 19, 2023. Wow, we are more than halfway through the year. We're in the seventh month, almost at the end of July. It's blazing hot all over the world. So I hope you are cool in whatever part of the world you are in. We are excited. We have so much going on. It's a lot going on. I'm excited. It's good stuff. So for those that don't know me, I am Valerie McDowell, writer, editor, author, book coach, consultant. I work with writing and time challenged clients, helping them get their stories told, their books published, and their dreams fulfilled. And since about 2019, I have helped over 43 individuals write and publish their very first book or some third book and many when it was just an idea. So we have helped so many people. We are excited. I'm on my third book and fourth collaboration. So we'll be sharing about my new book, Power to Excel. If you didn't get it, hey, you still can. Go on Amazon. You can just type in Power to Excel, my name, Valerie L. McDowell, and you will find it. But tonight, we're doing a special new series based on my book called the Power to Excel series for Write It Out Wednesday tonight. And our first topic is called Shifting Gears, how to know when it's time for a change. So that is one of the portions in my book. So I want to just share with you some of the principles, some of the topics that are in there so that it will whet your appetite to things to come. All right. So as we navigate the ever-changing landscape of our world, I mean, there are so many things happening. I watch a snippet of news a day, usually World News Tonight, where you get the international and local version, and it is like, oh boy, that's a lot. And so, we have to recognize when the time has come to shift gears and embrace new opportunities. I had the pleasure of just a few minutes ago, my realtor, who is an amazing woman, Tammy Kay, shout out to Tammy Cornegay, associate broker and realtor of Long and Foster here in the Maryland area. If you need a house to buy or sell, hey, I'm promoting her tonight too. Okay. So, but she stopped by my house. Whenever she's in the neighborhood, she will stop by. I mean, isn't that just great? Like, I love my realtor. It's like any house I'm ever buying or selling, she's going to be buying and selling it with me. Okay. So that's what we're doing. But anyway, she came by to get a copy of my book and have me sign it. But she also gave me lunch. It's like, hey, here's lunch on me. It's like, yes, come through, sis. Come through. But all that to say is that we were talking about opportunities because there's some things that she's done. She used to work at BET in music production and licensing. And so she's got a whole plethora of opportunities and information and expertise that in case you need to know, like you can also get a house with her. But just the opportunities, knowing when to shift, when to add something to your life, when to take something away, when to move forward, when to let something go, and knowing the people who come in and out of your life are for season, reasons, and lifetimes. So you'll know when, and part of the growth and learning how to shift gears is knowing when people and opportunities, what part of your life they're for, And so, and knowing when to make that change can be amazing, exhilarating, but it can also be challenging and fearful. Sometimes we find ourselves at a crossroads when we have to make those transitions, and we don't know whether we need to stay on the path or venture into the unknown. And I think many times that change, that transition is what many people end up staying stuck or not moving forward because it's unknown. But anything you've never done before is going to be unknown. For those who become first-time parents, you've never been a parent before, so you don't know. It's like you may have siblings or seen other people's kids, but when it's yours, it's a totally different experience because it is yours. You've never worked at a certain job until you work there. You've never done certain things until you've done that. Like I'm venturing into filmmaking now. It's like I have a short film written. I'm learning, directing, producing, all kinds of things from my amazing shout out to Ralph Siobhan. And so, but you need to know when it's time to move, when it's time to move forward on different things. And so I just want to share with you, let's look at like some signs that it might be time to shift and how to approach those transitions with confidence and determination. So when it's time to shift, when it's time for something new in your life, you will often feel a sense of stagnation. So that's a nice word. It means like you feel stuck, that you don't, you're not excited anymore. You don't, you just feel like, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing else to do here. And it's often a very clear indication that change is in order, that until you do something, nothing is going to change. And I think I posted a quote, I don't know whose it was. It might have been mine, but it said, nothing changes until you do. Okay, nothing changes until you change. So when it comes to being stagnant, being stuck, that you're the one that's going to have to get out of that rut, because oftentimes we've dug it ourselves, and not even in a bad way, but sometimes, you've just been in a place and it was comfortable. It was a good job. It was a good relationship. Nothing's wrong with it. But parts of it is just, taken for granted, or you're not growing, or different things. And before I jump to some other points, so, it's important that whether it's your career, relationship, personal goals, that you recognize this feeling of stagnation that you're having, that could be like the first step towards you moving forward to something brighter in your life. Okay, so number one, a sense of stagnation. Number two, when it comes to, shifting gears, is reflecting on your own values and aspirations. It's like looking at yourself and seeing what's going on, because, they will change and evolve as we change and evolve. I shared before that, as living creatures, as living beings, that every living thing changes. Okay. Just mentioned a baby, like my granddaughter will be 1 next week. And so she's been changing rapidly. Like she's walking now, stumbling still, but she's on her feet. Like she's like, I'm gonna get this, and so just watching her from when she was just like a little baby, so tiny, till she's, a big girl now, and climbing over furniture and doing all kinds of things and holding grip, the grip of death with these little kids. They don't let stuff go. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, it's like learning, reflecting on your values and aspiration. What's important to you? What's happening? What truly matters? That so many times as we mature, as we grow, as we change, and become a different version of ourselves, that what we value, changes. What we aspire to changes. That, I'm just blessed to be around the kind of people I'm around, because some are my age, which is 58, some are older, and the zeal, the energy, the desire to keep doing things, to learn new things, to travel in more places around the world, to try a new career path or a new hobby or do something new. I'm just happy and excited to see it, because I'm a part of that. That's like, let me learn something new. Let me try something new. I want to do that. I want to try something else. And like I said, this filmmaking is just a new thing, and I'm just excited to do it. To me, it's just another way to write a story. And so, for all of us, who are film buffs, you watch a lot of movies anyway. It's like, why not take your hand, try your hand at writing one. And so I'm learning the craft now. And I'm excited because I didn't have to go to film school. It literally was something like, do I have to go to film school? It's like, no, I don't. Yay. I'm going to use the person who did go to film school to teach me what I don't know. But anyway, so reflecting on your own values and aspirations are a clear sign that it's time to shift some gears, okay? A clear sign. So that was number two. Number three, embracing new challenges. So I kind of alluded to that. But when you step out of your comfort zone to embrace new challenges, it can lead to immense, like serious personal and professional growth. That you can have a giant leap of growth just because you embrace something new. That it may not be comfortable at first. It may not be familiar, which nothing new is familiar. It's new, but it's part of that shifting, that you will find the significant opportunities and even room for development. It's like when you start growing, that sometimes you have to be in a room where you are not the smartest person, where everyone is, and it pulls you. You may even feel a little intimidated or fearful, like, oh God, like I don't know any of this. But that's a good room to be in, because you can learn. You can learn what you don't know, because many times we don't ask certain things because we don't know what to ask. But when you're in a room and you have opportunity to ask questions, ask them, find out, learn, listen keenly to what is being said, taught, and implement. One of my coaches said she's a master implementer. And it's just like, that's one of the things that you want to do. Implement the things that you're learning. If it's for your growth, if it's for your development, make sure you're doing those things that help propel you forward. Okay. Number four, external triggers. How do we know that it's time to shift gears? Okay. There are external triggers. Things are happening outside of us that's causing our life to need to shift. Okay. It can be unexpected events or circumstances that make us reassess. Is this the right direction for me? Am I going? Should I buy this house? Should I take this job? Should I be with this person? Should I go on this trip? Should I do this event? Should I volunteer? All kinds of things that make you reassess. Is this what I need? Is something happening? Is this the right season? Am I ready to move from this part of the country to that, or even to another country? A lot of people are saying, hey, you can work from anywhere lifestyle. So why not live anywhere? Are you ready for that? What are the external triggers that are causing you to want to make those moves? So be keenly aware what's happening on the outside of you. Okay. And then the opposite of that is number 5, gut instinct and intuition. What's happening inside of you? So we had external triggers. So these would be internal triggers. Okay. What's happening in your gut, your intuition? What are you feeling inside? Because often when something is right, like there's a sense of peace. Like you don't have, but when it's not right, there's turmoil. You can't sleep. You're like, oh God, you're not at ease. But when it is the right decision, even if it's a hard thing or a challenging thing, but you have peace about it. You have peace about that move, that transition, whatever it is, you have peace about it. Then that's when, that that's a good decision you're making. And don't be afraid to listen internally, because I have a book on my shelf. I'm not close enough to point to it, but it says the body keeps score. Your body tells you. A lot of times we discount, but that's God's way of telling us this is right, this is not right. He's given us an intuition inside of us, a knowing that says, go this way, don't go that way, do this, don't do that. And so we have to be careful that we listen, particularly women. Our intuition is very keen in a lot of circumstances, and I know people have seen it in their relationships with men, where they're brothers or fathers or whatever, where it might be, something's wrong with the baby, my sibling, my child, grandma, somebody, they sense it. The man's like, what? I didn't feel anything. I didn't see anything, because that's not what's natural to them. But for women, I think that's why, as the mothers of children, like, we know when our child is not well. We know when they haven't developed, right. We know there's something's off. And so heeding that internal gut, that internal instinct that you have, your intuition, that something is either right or wrong, and not being afraid to listen to the thing, so that you're going in the right direction. Okay, so those were 5 ways to know it's time to shift gears. Okay, so how do we approach that shift? How do we take a look at what we need to do? So I have 5 more points. Sorry. So we have our good number 10 tonight. So how do you approach that shift? How do you approach making that transition, that change? Number 1, self-reflect. Take a look. Sometimes making a list, just kind of sitting quietly and thinking about, let me look, what is it that I want to do? Before you make any significant change, reflect. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where do you see growth potential? What is it that you can be doing? What is it that you need to do? And when you understand yourself, because a lot of times people don't even know themselves. Other people's like, nah, I can't see you doing that. But you're like, and not in a negative way, but it's like, because they know your skills, they know your strengths, they know the things that you do. And not that you can't do something well, but when you know what you do well, then that's something that you can easily do and walk into. So understanding yourself better will guide you in the right direction. Okay. Number 2, seek support and guidance. Okay. I know the Bible says that in the company of many, there's safety, that in the counsel of many, there's safety. So having other people chime in, and people you trust, your mentors, your friends, or professionals who can offer an unbiased insight, support during a transition. Their perspectives and experience can provide clarity and encouragement. Because sometimes we might make a decision based on an emotional situation that occurred, a feeling of being hurt, or, something happened, and we make a rash decision, or we make a decision, that was for that moment. But in hindsight, long term, it probably may not have been a good decision. So being able to seek support and guidance from people you trust, and heeding that as well. Again, heeding, listening. You got 2 ears, so you can hear twice as much than you're speaking and trying to go forward your own self, so that you have peace, because when you make decisions with a peaceful mindset and demeanor about you, then, you won't regret it later on. Okay. Number 3, set clear goals. Okay. Set clear goals. When you establish clear and achievable goals for this shift, this transition that you're having in your life, it becomes a roadmap. First do this, then do this, then do this. And it helps you stay motivated. Okay. It helps you stay motivated, because when you don't know where you're going, then you don't know how to get there, and this is where, also going back to number 2, having support and guidance. Has someone gone before you, who has expertise in this area? Is there someone I can reach out to and talk to about this situation? And so having that in place is important to help you approach that shift, that transition in your life. Number 4, embrace uncertainty. Okay. Embrace uncertainty. You haven't traveled this way before. It's like, I never went on a cruise until December 2022. It was amazing. We went to all kinds of places. I was like, I'm a land person. So I was like, okay, how's this boat thing going to be? I'm used to flying somewhere directly. I'm there. I'm at the place I need to be. I don't have all this time wasted, so to speak, on the boat. But it was great. There was lots of dancing, activities, all kinds of stuff. I got all my steps in, walking back and forth, trying to find my room the first day or 2. But it's like, it's just a different experience I had not had before. And I would do it again. I would also still fly directly to wherever I'm going around the world. So it's like, but being able to embrace uncertainty, embrace the unfamiliarity of something, even embracing where you haven't been, you don't know people. Okay. That sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not going over there. I don't know anybody. You might meet somebody new who can change your life. That's the kind of people I like to be. You're like, I never know who I'm going to meet. They may indeed change your life, or at least expand your horizons, your viewpoint, your perspective on different things. And it may also open up opportunities that lie ahead, where you can learn and develop into even a better self. Okay. And then number 5, take action. Do something. Don't just sit there. Do something. Okay. When it's time to transition, when it's time to make a move, when it's time to shift gears, you got to do it. Okay. Because once you decide to shift, you have to take action in that direction. You have to embrace the change, be enthusiastic, be determined about it. This is what I'm going to do. Make up your mind, be clear, knowing that every step you take will bring you closer to a more fulfilling future, towards those goals you've written down, towards that life that you really want to have. And like I said, with my book, it's called Power to Excel, How to Get the Life You Want by Leveraging What You Already Have. This is part of this writing it out session tonight is part of my Power to Excel series. And so how do we power through those areas of our life? How do we power through the shifts, the changes that we need to make? How do we shift gears in order to move forward in our life? And so this is one way. Okay. So I've given you 5 ways to for the shift to happen. And then how do you approach it? Okay. So keep in mind, shifting gears is never a sign of weakness, but it's a testament to your resilience and your courage to pursue a better version of yourself. It's like, it's you against you. You're not competing with anyone else, only yourself. Being a better you than you were last week, last time, last year, being a better you is what this is all about. Hey, B Sweets, thank you again for the picture and buying the book. It looks great. We've been talking tonight about shifting gears, how to know when it's time for a change. I will quickly go through some of our points we made, but it's been amazing. It's part of my new Power to Excel series using my book. And then this is another way, for those of you on my mailing list, you'll be getting an email tomorrow that talks about, how to promote your book. So shifting gears is one of the ways that you can promote your book. You shift what you used to do or what you didn't do before to do something new. So the points that we talked about were, how do you know it's time to shift? when you're feeling stagnant, you're feeling stuck. Okay. Have you ever felt stuck in a situation? Then it's time to move. When you reflect on what you value and what you're aspiring to do. Number 2. Number 3, embracing new challenges. That's when you have to shift gears. Okay. Or if there's some external triggers, stuff is happening outside of you that says, hey, I got to make a move. I got to do something. I got to shift. I got to move. I got to adjust, And then number 5, what is your gut telling you? What is happening internally that says, I got to make a move. I got to transition. I got to do something. And then the ways that we do that, that we make those transitions, that we prepare to shift gears is by doing some self-reflection. Number 1, by seeking support and guidance. Number 2, by setting clear goals. 3, embracing uncertainty. 4, and taking action. And I would say just even knowing your life, your story, at least the portion that I've been blessed to know about you, that even when you shifted from New York to Georgia, it's like you had to do all these things. You had to self-reflect. You had to get a little support and guidance. You had to set clear goals as to, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to make this move. You had to embrace uncertainty. I don't live here. I ain't been here. I don't know these people. And then you took action. And now you're living a brand new life with all kinds of new possibilities, meeting all kinds of wonderful new people, and still traveling, living your best life. So I am Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant, new author, promoting my new book, Power to Excel, and promoting just as many. It is July, but we got done 6 books in 6 months. So January to June, we worked on 6 books. So they're all rolling out right now. I'm actually going to post probably another one tomorrow. So that will be 3 of the 6. So they're at various stages of promotion by their authors. So I wait until the author has said go before I put it out there. So we released Shalina Hickman's book, A Witness, an Intruder, and God's Divine Plan the other day. So we have a new one coming out. I'll post that tomorrow. And so we are just rolling. So if you have a book idea, if you're trying to get your story written, printed, and published, then you need to reach out to me. I'll put a link down below if you need to make an appointment. But we are getting it done here in 2023, and you still have time. It is not the end of the year. It's not the end, period. As long as you're here, as long as you've got time, you can get this done. So if you have a story that you've been sitting on, that's on a shelf, like in the back of me, or it's in a file, it's in a folder, it's in a book, it's under your bed, wherever it is, let's pull that out. Let's get that story written, printed, and published this year. All right, in 2023. All right, I'll see you next time. Valerie McDowell.